Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today is the beginning of the Orange Journal series, and I have shown before that I'm going to be making the fabric one with that cover, as well as I decided to do a spiral bound book, and the choice was between Go Dog Go and a flowers book, and in the end, opinions were pretty much split down the center, one of each. But in the end, I decided to do Go Dog Go because there was quite a bit of orange in this book, as well as the thought that the flowers book could really go with any month. And there's so much stuff I can do with that probably could be, you know, its own for 3 months because there's just so many pretty things you could do with it. All right, so I have pre-prepped some of this stuff. I have gone through and pierced for the binders, the covers, as well as a bunch of the pages. Oh, the other reason that I decided to do the spiral is because this book was glued in and not signatured, so the pages had to come out separately anyway. So if I wanted to put them in a signature, I was gonna have to glue them all back together, tape them, however. So it actually worked out perfect that this ended up being a binder book. All right, so I've gone through and got the book, kept the pages in order. And then I've gone through and found some stuff that I want to put in them and punched a bunch of them. This is those greeting cards. And I ended up stamping the back of them, that one video that I had recently. And I have inked those. And I've got a, what do you call it? Just the packaging material, but it had some orange in it, so that'd be fun. I've got some Pantone postcards in lots of colors for Go Dog Go, of course the orange and, you know, greens and blues. And I pulled some other postcards. This had fish, very one fish, two fish, even those Go Dog Go. And then I found a dog one. How fun. I got a time card. I've got some Tim Holtz that have orange on it. And then I've got a bunch of scrapbook papers, and a lot of these are from the recent video where I did the splatter stamping to make sure the backgrounds were not white. So I got a whole bunch of those, and then I do have ones that I have double-sided printed for the journal. So a whole bunch of scrapbook papers, as well as double-sided thicker cardstock. So I've got a few more things. Oops, get out of the way. I got a few more things that I want to cut or punch, and then we can go through and try to put the binder on the book. All right, so this is the Zutter machine. I mentioned it before. It is old. I've had it for a really long time, and I think it's still available. If I can find it like on Amazon, I'll link it. I know the Cinch machine is a little bit more new by We Are Memory Makers. But I'm pretty sure this is the, you know, the OG of binding systems. And yeah, like I said, I've had it for a while. It's got a little door where the stuff gets punched out. It's got a couple little choices here. Open, where it's just not closed, continuous if you want it, and I'll show you the continuous if you've got a cover and inner pages, etc. So we're going to start with, you could do several items together because the opening's pretty thick, but you can't do, like I can only do one of the covers at a time. That was really the thickness, the maximum thickness. All right, so I've gone through and I've marked, it's hard to tell, but I put a little tiny line where the center is, and there's a little tiny arrow marking the center that I need to push this through. Now, if it's close, it's fine. Oops, of course, I just moved that. It's hard to do it. There we go. And we mark it. So it only does 6 holes at a time. So to continue it, I have to move to the B continuous mark. There's a little tab that sticks out, and the tab is going to go into the second hole. And if you do that, then you know that the rest of the holes are going to be all in the right spot. So once you get that in, I did notice on a couple things I forgot to push this end down, so if it goes up a little, it goes off the page. You don't want that. So we're going to go down and do that. Pull that off, and now we've got continuous. I'm going to flip it around. Again, I'm going to put it in the second hole and make sure that side's down. And there we go. And we got one long continuous line. And I'm going to put these, get the book, because these were the last pages. I want to make sure they get in the right order. These were the last pages. Did I do the wrong side? Oh no, I did the wrong side. Okay, well these are going to be fancy. They're going to have double holes. Okay, so we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again, and we're going to... I got the line there. Okay, we're going to do it again. This is what happens when you try to do it on camera. All right, second hole. And second hole. I was thinking that was the front page, but it was not. All right, so they're going to go like that. Now, if I really don't like them, I could go back and cut those pages down to get rid of those holes, because there's going to be other pages between them. We'll see how it ends up going in the end. Okay, mistakes will be made. But again, I've said this before, if I make the mistakes and you end up having this machine and never haven't used it, or decide to get a machine like this, you won't make those mistakes. Okay, so like I said, I got a whole bunch of stuff here that is just random things that I want to add, and I'm going to just go cut through a couple more, and I might fast forward this at some point because it's going to be pretty repetitive. But again, what I've done is I've gone through and I've marked a center mark for these, and I'm going to put them in the center. And second hole, make sure to push down. And second hole, make sure it's pushed down. And there we go. Okay, so one other thing I did for these was, this was a piece of paper that I cut in half, obviously, and it had printed on the back ledger. Probably actually went, I'm not sure which way, I know it probably went like this. No, it went like that. Made in the US, yeah, it went like that. So what I did when I sorted these, instead of having both of the pages this way so that they flipped in the book, I flipped them around so that one page in the book, this is the top, that's the back, and in the second part of the book, that's the top and that's the back, just to give them a little bit of variety. So for each of these that were double printed, I have reversed them. And the other thing I wanted to make sure is that that is the top, that is the side that gets the spiral, unlike that first part that I did backwards. Got a little mark again, and we're just going to go in there and click. Now if it's off just a hair, I don't think it really matters too much. And I'll show you when we start doing the, put the coil bindings on, why it doesn't really matter too much if it is off-centered a tad. Okay, in the tab, all right. Now I noticed a couple of pieces coming out. I don't know if this has gotten full, but there's a little pocket over here that there we go. Let's get the papers out. Yeah, there was quite a few in there. Can't really see in there, but okay. I would say that that was pretty full. Get them in the garbage so I don't have to get them off the floor. There we go. All right, we'll pull this back out again. And all right, so I showed you the papers. Now I got a couple other things. I'll do these, like I said, not off camera, but I'll try to do them fast. I've got this, which was just a page out of a Word book. This part was, there was a barcode as the front page or back page of it. So I decided to, I was going to cut it off, but then I thought, well, I fold it up and put a piece of paper on there. So I'm going to put the holes in there like this. So when the binder's up like that, this can become its own little pocket. Again, I put the little mark there. And I should have no problem going through this because even though there's 2 layers, it's just 2 layers. And we'll go back again to the second hole. And we'll flip it around. And we'll put it in the second hole. And now we've got that can go into the binder. All right, I got a couple of I did the same with this. I got a little, it's a the packaging part for that. I thought this would be cute for a little pocket for that. I'll probably end up putting some sort of paper or something on there to cover that. Some more Tim Holtz papers. These are just out of that font book, similar to this, but I picked all the letter G's for Go Dog Go. I got a couple maps. I've got some flashcards here for this, and I think I can do 3. I have put the mark on there, so let's see if we can do 3. You can tell it just takes a little bit extra pressure to go through, but we can find the second hole for that one. Do that. And second hole. And do that. So now we've got those flashcards with holes. Fun. And this is why I said I decided I wanted to do a binding one, because these are the things that you can't put as pages really easily into a regular journal, because you could probably glue them onto something, but these be more like tags or possibly flips. But for this, they can become book pages. I did the same with this. I have these kind of like flashcard color things. They had quite a bit of orange on both of these, so I thought these would be fun to do. So let's see if we can get that. And there's 2 of them here, but I was able to push them through. Pretty thick stuff, but. And second hole. Oops. There we go. All right, so those are going to be fun pages in there as well. All right, I'm going to do the rest of these, but like I said, I'll probably end up just, you'll see it in fast motion. All right, I am back. Everything is punched. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use all of this stuff. It's going to be pretty thick. I've got a couple different sizes of bindings that should be able to work. So I'm gonna put this away for now until I go ahead and use this to actually, we actually take the binder rings in there and squish them down to fit in the book. So get this out of the way. All right, so what I've decided to do is hopefully I could take each page and put something between it and see how that ends up working out. I was also thinking about leaving it, like leaving these two together and then putting something between here, but then those two pages aren't together. So I don't think it was really necessary to do that. So yeah, and I think also I'm going to end up, when I'm doing it, like some of these will go down farther, some will go down higher. They won't always just go in the center, but for now I'm just going to lay them in the center because I'll have to go back and individually put them onto the rings, because when you go to stack this, it's probably hard to see, but the holes don't go all the way through because things shift a little bit, things get unaligned. They're close, you can see a little bit of air between there, but in the end they're not exactly correct, so I can't just squish them together and then throw the rings on there. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and do that and just randomly put some sort of fun papers on there, and we'll do that. And let's do, I have, oh, by the way, I have got scrapbook paper here. I've got miscellaneous, I got the 2 pockets as well as miscellaneous things and the smaller hard cards. So I did a hard card scrapbooking. So let's just do a miscellaneous letter. G, that could be fun. Big dogs, little dogs, whole bunch of fun stuff. All right, let's go back to a scrapbook paper. And I can figure out if I want to have something like that go, or if I want to do that when I do it. All right. I think it's time for a pocket. I'll put pocket there. Oh, actually, no, because that has that G between it. Let's do this pocket one. Okay. And another, I have a lot more scrapbook pages, so I think it'll end up being more scrapbook pages. All right, let's do that. And scrapbook page. Wild and chaotic. Wild and chaotic is fun. And a map there. And these dogs look like they're working, so a time card would be fun. All right, back to some paper. I like the bubbles with the water, that's fun. And I probably shouldn't be overthinking it, but why not actually kind of have a little bit of fun with it, right? Ooh, I like that with that. I love that. Okay, let's put that one there. And okay, that's fun. And I think it's time for the dog. Yep, I think it's time for the dog. Oh, a merry-go-round. Don't lose the pocket. That looks like fun. Let's do that. And I think the yellow sun would be fun. Sunshine is the name. That'd be fun there. Oh, let's see. Ooh, they're in a boat. Let's put the fish. Okay. All right, dogs at play. Kind of looks like, yep, let's do that. All right. Dogs on a ski hill. Squigglies could be fun. I like that. And dogs racing. I think it's time for a pocket. All right. G. Go, dog, go. Stop. Let's do the red Pantone. And let's do one of these. Okay. And a blimp. Circle gift, circle card. That could be fun. All right. Time for dogs to go to sleep. One of my digitals. Looks like Swirls of Dreams. Let's do that. Oh. All right, sun is up. Sun is up. That looks a bit chaotic and fun. All right, go dogs, go. Let's do that. Where are they going? I think another map is in order. I picked quite a few of these because they had like, it's at Oak Park and forest preserves where dogs could go. So that's where they're going, to the forest preserve in the park. And trees. Looks like swirling winds. I like the colors with that. And they're up a tree without a paddle. Let's see if there's any pages I haven't used yet. I'm trying not to use duplicates. Use that one. I didn't use that one yet. Use one of those. I used one of those. I used one of those. Use one of those. And those. I didn't use one of those. Use one of those, use one of those, and one of those. Okay. Okay, I do 2 maps. I got one of those cards. I got some of those green cards. I didn't use the packaging. Use one of those. That's the other half of that. Okay. All right, it's a party. It's a party. That looks like a party. All the dots. And a party hat. I think squiggles, rectangles is fun for a party hat. And goodbye. Goodbye. I know I used the sun already, but setting sun would be fun for that. And there we go. Okay. So, question is, do I finish it there or go back and add a few more pages so there's more than one? That is pretty thick. Let's see. It is about a little more than ½ an inch thick. So it's not as thick as I thought it would be. I'm going to put that there because I like the spots for the dog. I want to get that one in there. That would be fun to have there. Pocket on its own is fine. That is fine. All right, let's add that. That would be fun. All right. I like that. Put the Pantone with the green. Yep, let's do that. Oh, I think I still like that one alone. I think that will look nice on there, color-wise. Yep, let's do that. All right, you're fun by yourself. Yep, I think we're gonna do that. All right, bright fish. I think I'm gonna keep the fish by themselves because they're fun. By themselves. All right, let's put that like that. All right, pocket. Nope, can't do it that way because that won't work. Sort of an index back piece. Let's do that. All right, Pantone with red. I think you're good. All right, let's put something. All right, let's do dots with dots. Yeah, that's cute. Let's do dots with dots. And you're just swirls. Keep you. Yep, we'll do that. Put that card there. Okay, let's do that. And this one. Quite the little party. So circles and squiggles is fun. And the sun goes down. All right, I think that's good. All right, the rest of these can be cut and used for cards or tags. Yeah, I say that that is pretty good. I'd say that is going to be pretty good. Now, it is going to be thick. And I have a couple options for binding. I've got this one, which I don't think is going to work. This is about, it's about 1/2 inch, and I think that's too small. And then I've got these 3/4, which I haven't taken out yet. 3/4 might work. The other one I have is I do have 1-inch binders, and they're pretty big. And I would have to put 2 together because they've been pre-cut for smaller books. I think I'm going to try and give it a shot to do the 3/4. I only have the 3/4 in black. I've got these which are a little more than half. I got these from Michael's. They say they're 0.6 inches, so maybe 5/8 of an inch actually. So quite a few colors, but I don't think it's wide enough. So okay, so here we go. Now what's going to happen is this binder's going to get put on, and then we're going to end up clipping it off. So I probably, because I know this is going to be here, I could probably clip this off. There they are. And not have the extra. Okay, so we need to clip it off. I showed here. See how the end is sticking down like that? You want to clip it off between the 2 rings. So I'm not going to do that one because this actually has a hole in it, so it's not going to be in there. So we're going to call this the top. So we're going to clip it here. Okay, takes a bit of strength, but eventually we do get it. When it's done, we will take and flip those over so they're not sticking out and poking. But for now, see, the hardest one to get on is the first because it's stretchy. You know, it goes ooh. So once it's on, it doesn't stretch anymore. All right, I think we're gonna, it's been a while since I actually put one on here, but I think we start from the back. And work our way forward. Since I'm right-handed. All right, let's get the first one in. Okay, now that one's loose. I probably should cut that one off too. But we'll see when it comes to the end because I can always cut it off later because some of these are going to be actually hooked on there. Yeah, I think we'll be okay. So yeah, so when we start getting into these like this, we're going to want to figure out where we want to put them and do that. Okay. Now I probably could do a couple at a time, but for right now, just to get it going, we're going to do one at a time. Now there's a good chance that I will speed this up so you're watching it in fast motion. All right, all the papers are in, but I realized I made another oops. So when you go to clamp these, if you keep how I had them with the cover on the front and the back, this part is on the outside, and we don't want that part on the outside. We want just the ribs on the outside. So what you have to do is you have to take this book and put it on the front. But since I put it on there already, I can't do it. So what I've done is I've gone through and I've binder clipped all the pages except for that. And I'm hoping I can swing this out and reline them up because they are clipped together. But we'll see, because there we go. Okay. All right. So, like I said, you're supposed to bring the binder to the front. Get it off here and have it go in there. So, we are going to put the binder in there. And we are going to hope that we can put these back in there, because I have them all clipped together. Well, I don't think it's going to work. And I wonder, I'm still not totally sold on this size binder, because it seems like it might be still too small, or I might want to use the bigger one. No, I do have, I've got the bigger binder in the 2 pieces, so I'm wondering. Yeah, that went through a lot easier. Okay. Of course, the binder clip flew off, so I'm hoping the rest, but since the first one's in, okay. Oops. 2 sheets. Okay, so everything is in now. And I just need to trim this one down. And it looks like I need to trim it there. All right, this wire is definitely a little thicker than the other one was. It also helps that that's not my cutter. Okay. There we go. If you actually use the cutter and not just a squisher. Okay. All right, so I'll have to go back and probably just hand trim a couple of these pages that are sticking out below the book. But that should be fine. All right, so on to the squishing part. So, like I said, we've got the back of the book onto the front of the book, and we've got the wires ready. Now, squishing time. Now, on these, there is, it's hard to tell, but there's little marks in there that say how wide it is. I actually do have it set to 1 inch right now. This machine also came with these little cards, so you could take your wire, if you didn't know what size it was, and go, oh yeah, that is 1 inch. And you could stick it in there to make sure that it is going to fit in there for the squishing. Now, the way they used to squish these is you put it flat, this on the bottom, flat down, like this. Turn sideways. Now, we're going to squish the center, and then we're going to squish the two ends. And it's going to look weird for a bit because the centers get squished and the sides don't. All right, so we're going to go in. Now we're going to squish these two ends, push it all the way down, and I forgot to pull out my little lever there. All right, now we're going to put it on this end, and we're going to squish. And it should be, you can't over squish it because when you set the bar, it squishes to the exact amount it needs to go. If I had it smaller, it would have squished it smaller. But this way, it is, they're all inside there. And like I said, I'm going to probably go back and trim these two little edges or fold them under with a tool. And I don't know if I guess my pointy tool could work. All right. Squish that down. And I'm going to squish it up so that it is a little more out of the way. Now these might be a little harder to do because they're in the center, but we're going to squish it down. Just don't want to, you know, cut your hand on it or scrape yourself or catch things on it. Yeah, it's definitely a little harder in the center. I wouldn't recommend totally putting two cut binder rings on next to each other, but there we go. Do a little squish in the center to get it back to its rounded self. And I just have this side to do. Yeah, the end ones are definitely a lot easier to get in position. All right, it's tucked into its little end piece now, and that one looks good. Okay. All right, let's get this out of the way. And all right, so the back of the book goes to the front of the book. And just get it wiggled to its right spot. There we go. Yeah, I'm glad I switched to the bigger one. The smaller one would have never worked. Way too many pages on here. Yeah, so now all those weird bindings are stuck in the center here, or in the back of the book, and not on the outside of the book. All right. Well, a few struggles, but that is so cute. I love it. Absolutely love it. The pocket worked well. I can always glue that side down if I want to. The orange, crushing the orange dog, the blue, I love it. Fun party little there. Got that with the map. Green with the time card. Too much fun. I love it. Absolutely love it. I like how that ended up going. You can still see the green dog above that. That just leaves space to do something. Very fun. Cute dog. Hello, hello dog. This is very cool. With the spokes going out like that, that worked out so well. The yellow with the sun. Very, very happy page. The fish on the water. Too much fun. The squigglies. Another pocket again. You can glue that. Just a fun page. G's for the goes. And I put the red for the stop there. Very fun. Looks like the circles. That really just goes together with the blimp. And looks like, oh, they're dreaming at night. Three dogs. Where are they going? They're going to the forest preserve by the park. Chaos. Yellow with the ladders, fun. Up the tree, up they go. Oops, skipped a page. Party dots, love it. Squares and squiggles. And the sun and the fun. I absolutely love this book. Like I said, just got to work its way to work itself in, but I think it is going to be good. You just got to go through and trim a couple pages, and yeah, too much fun. Well, I think that I'm going to call this video done. I've learned some lessons on things, and I probably should have started with a small book and worked out the kinks, but you know, that's no fun. So for the rest of the month, we'll be able to add some decoration to this, as well as creating the other journal. We'll be doing that this month, and I look forward to it. This is quite exciting. I'm loving it so far. I hope you do too. If you have any questions about this, like I said, I will link, if I can find any Zutter machines, in the description, or a cinch machine if you're thinking about doing it. Like I said, those coils I did find at Michael's, so that is a possibility. I don't know if they have a cinch machine there or not. I didn't look. I just happened to see the coils there, and I said, oh, I should get those for my machine. And yeah, so this is not the last book that I'm going to be making with a binder. That is for sure. So that is going to be it for me today. I appreciate each and every one of you that has stopped by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye now.